Now, about a month ago, I reviewed the LeEco LeMax 2, and it has a really impressive spec for the price. I picked it up for about 230 US, and that had a Snapdragon 820 in it. Well, this now is the successor, and this one here has a Snapdragon 821, which clocks up to 2.35 gigahertz. So this is the Le Pro 3 from LeEco. Another mobile that I picked up from AliExpress seller Goldway. And those guys do quite a good job of packaging things up and getting the mobiles shipped out really quick to me. And they put this very protective bubble wrap around it, so there should be no damage. Although we have a box with the LeEco logo on the front, doesn't look too bad. Specs on the back there, so a premium package so far. So there we have the mobile. I'm just going to have a look at the accessories first, get that out of the way. So it looks like we have a quick charger here that's rated to 12 volts, 2 amps. A Type-C cable in white, and an adapter, which is Type-C to 3.5mm headphone jack, because they don't include one on the actual mobile itself, which is really disappointing. So this time around, I know it does have a case already on it, just like the LeMax 2 I reviewed. And an instruction leaflet, warranty card, you can see here. And a SIM tool. Now the seller has put in the box right there an adapter there for me, so US to EU for the plug. So get the box out of the way and we'll have a look at the mobile. Just get the cover out of that protective case they include, and the rear off. The color is like that gold. Yeah, it doesn't look that gold, which is good. So the screen on it has 2.5D glass. It's 1080p this time around, so they decided to actually lower the resolution from 1440p from the LeMax 2. So just get this powered up. So the build of it feels very premium. We have antenna lines along here. You can see at the bottom, dual loudspeakers this time around apparently. Type-C port, of course, and it does feel really nice in hand. Those edges feel a lot better having the 2.5D glass. It's something that the LeMax did not have. We have an 8 megapixel front-facing camera, ambient light sensor, the earpiece there, of course. On the rear, the fingerprint reader, 16 megapixel camera this time around, so they've downgraded it from 21 megapixels down to 16. Now that probably actually isn't a downgrade, because this pixel size on the sensor should be larger. Dual tone, LED flash, antenna lines, and here we have a dual nano SIM tray. So no micro SD card support, so be very careful if you get the 32GB version, which I have right here, has 4GB of RAM. But if that isn't enough space for some people, then you're probably going to have to get the larger storage sizes, 64GB, and I think 128GB as well. So it looks like the seller has installed a multi-language ROM on here. A little bit of a delay. I didn't get this as fast as I wanted. So it'd be interesting to see if this actually has Play Store on there or not. So this is the initial setup. Yada yada yada, add a fingerprint. So I will do this just to see how long it takes. So you first got to put in a password. Actually, I'm going to put a pin in first. A super secure one. No one's going to be able to guess that one. No. Okay, so place your finger on the back. I have to do this probably about 10 times. Okay, that's done. And it didn't actually read just then. There we go. No. Failed. Okay, it can straight away unlock, but it worked about 3 out of 5 times just then. So That's not a good sign because the Max 2 did actually have some problems in the beginning, but later a firmware update did fix that. And you can see, look at these ugly bezels. The border around here is just, it's so big. Exactly the same as the LeMax 2 again. The huge border. Unfortunately, that's the styling that they have, which for some people will be a deal breaker. So this ROM does have Play Store installed. Have a look and see what Android version it is. So it's Android 6.0.1. And I wonder whether I will have actual firmware updates with this ROM, which is interesting because normally when the sellers put on another ROM that has Play Store, because the original ROM is Chinese only without Play Store. So you get typical LeEco operating system. So you've got your toggles is on the same thing as where you have your recent apps. So it's all together, all in one there. So you can kill the apps, swap and do your multitasking right there, but you also have access to the toggles. So let's have a look at the screen a little. So just turn the brightness up there. Doesn't seem a bad 1080p display. View angles look just fine. It is IPS. So let's have a quick look at the camera application and video mode first. So video recording quality does go up to 4K. I will test that out in just a second. And photo resolution is 16 megapixels with an aspect ratio of 4:3. I would ideally like to see 16:9, the same as the screen. That's just me personally because I have a lot of devices still with 16:9 resolution aspect ratio. Exposure contrast is quite a few controls on there. Slow-mo, I imagine that is only 720p, slow-mo times 4. Panorama mode for your panoramic photos. And just a few other features, a front-facing camera, flash control, all the standard. And it doesn't actually look to have too much bloat on there. Okay, system tools, maybe there is a few in there. UC browser, could consider that as bloat. Gallery phone manager, all this standard stuff. Remote control, because at the top we do at least have an IR blaster next to that secondary microphone. Almost forgot. So we have the power on button and the volume, of course. Now I found that with the LeMax 2 that it rattled, and that is not the case now. It's not rattling around. Those are metal buttons too. It feels really good. The build, very solid. There's no flex in this, no creaks. I'm applying a lot of pressure here actually. No, that is rock solid. So build quality seems very premium. So it comes in at 177 grams. So it's not the lightest device. It's probably due to the fact that it is an all alloy build to it and it has that larger battery. And also just check the thickness of it. So the thickest point is right here where the camera bump is. It sticks out, protrudes by about 2 millimeters there, which makes it come in at 8.8 millimeters. And where it doesn't have the camera sticking out there, the camera bump is about 7.7. So it's not the thinnest device nor the lightest. So I'm just going to connect up to my wireless network here, and I notice that the keyboard seems like it's got like the Google keyboard installed, which is good, which makes me wonder whether this is the LeEco Indian ROM for this device. And if that is the case, then it should get over-the-air updates. So I'm just going to connect up now, go into YouTube, and have a listen to the dual downwards firing speakers. Now a quick speaker test here against the Samsung Galaxy S7. Okay, so it seems like the S7's a little bit louder, but the speaker quality on the LePro 3 doesn't sound too bad. I've noticed that the speakers actually, it fires out from the bottom, I think right here, and then out of the earpiece. So the top earpiece doubles as the second front-facing speaker, which is something I wasn't aware. I thought it was out of actually just both of the grills on the bottom there, but it turns out microphone and speaker, second speaker, and earpiece there, which is a pleasant surprise. A little size comparison here. So we have 5.5-inch screen, 5.1, and a 5.7-inch screen. That is my Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge Plus. And then we have the monster of them all, which is the Xiaomi Mi Max, which has 6.44-inch screen, which you can see there is humongous. The hardware navigation keys, they are backlit. As soon as you touch them, they will light up. Hopefully you can see those there in the video. Recent apps, home button with the LeEco logo there, and the back button. So just a quick look at the RAM available. If I just clear everything here, it looks like I'm going to have around 2.3 gigabytes of the 4 gigabytes available, which is actually less than I thought we would have on a 4 gigabyte device. So one of the key features of the LePro 3 is its battery capacity. It has a very large 4070 milliamp hour battery, which is and really good to see in a flagship. So I'm very curious to see what kind of battery life we're going to get out of that, and I will definitely be covering that in my full review. So now on to a very quick video sample. This is shot in 4K, just to get a quick impression of what the video quality is going to be like. And one thing I notice with LeEco phones is they tend to get a lot of artifacts when it comes to blue skies or constant colors. So the white wall over here, I wonder if that has artifacts. It's really hard to pick up looking at the display. Let's have a quick look at the focus. It's having trouble there. It looks like it might have tap to focus. Yes, it does by the looks of it. I'll have to look into these settings to see if it does have continual autofocus. And just have a look now at the front-facing camera as well as a few camera samples. Also, it has an 8 megapixel camera and it can shoot only in 720p. For some reason, there's no 1080p option available for the front-facing camera. It seems to be overexposing a little bit from what I can tell. So the quality, I would say, needs tweaking. So judging from those early camera samples, it looks like the auto white balance isn't doing a very good job in the videos there, as well as the exposure. I think they have a lot of tweaking to do. So that was the unboxing, and the first impressions are quite good. The build quality definitely feels premium to me. It's very solid. It's well put together. It does not feel at all cheap, and I will be benchmarking this, and I'll be checking out the performance of the Snapdragon 821, as well as the 4 gigabytes of RAM that it has on there, the internal storage, and most importantly too, battery life, because I am expecting quite a good result from such a large battery in this device here. Thank you so much for watching this unboxing here, and if you are interested in seeing more on this particular model, keep an eye on the playlist there, and if you haven't already, why not think about subscribing? And hopefully I will see you back in the up and coming videos on the LeEco LePro 3 here.